Hey, welcome to the program.
Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary from your buddy, Mike Malloy. Happy anniversary to you.
Thanks, Mike.
Hey, Bob.
How you doing?
I just got an email from the woman I call Kate in the desert. She said, well, it's that time of, again, on the horn tonight is the 7th anniversary. Boy, time just rips by when you're having fun, doesn't it?
I tell you what, I couldn't stand it if it went any faster, Mike. This has become a little bit of a tradition, too, and I appreciate you calling in.
Oh, I love it. Hey, in I think it's the current issue. I got to tell you this, and because we share some of the same 37 listeners. In the October 29th issue of The Nation, it says the campaign comes to coal country, and there's a piece written here by Ken Ward Jr. that, if not tonight, one of the nights I'm going to quote from extensively. But I read this thing, and it reminds me of all the stuff that you've told me about over the past 2 or 3 years that I was totally unaware of, and would not have known had I not had the conversations with you. But this article in the October 29th issue of The Nation, I think should be required reading for anyone who is concerned about the issues that you've dedicated so much of your time to.
Well, Ken Ward is probably the single best writer on the issue that's out there. He's with the Charleston Gazette, and it is still a reputable newspaper that hasn't gone completely into the tank. Mm-hmm. And he lays out, I've read the article, in fact, and Mike, he lays out in very sober fashion what almost is indescribable up here. This place is crazy. Yeah.
When I read this, I kept thinking about how much risk you take just by doing some of the stuff you do up there. I mean, dear God.
Well, I doubled down this week. Guess what I did, Mike? I put an Obama sign in my yard.
Oh no. Oh no.
If massive freak climate change driven land hurricanes ripping across the continent knocking the snot out of this place aren't enough, well, I'm a glutton for punishment.
Right. Oh my God. Living here in Georgia, we opted not to put an Obama Biden sticker on. I'm not as brave as you are, apparently, or else I live where there are more people with guns. I don't know, one of the.
Well, I wouldn't put one in my yard down there either, Mike. I mean, there's a weird chance that there might be 2 or 3 Obama voters within 50 miles of me. Down there, no. You put one of those in your yard, you get the guys with the pillowcases on their head riding horseback.
Boy, isn't that the truth? So how you doing? Business aside, how's everything with the Kincaid family?
We're muddling along. We're trying to replace the roof that the storm blew off, dealing with medical this and medical that, and life life among the working uninsured and all of that. But the kids are growing up. You got to meet the tribe on the Lib boat a couple of years ago. It'd be 2 years in February, and that just blows my mind.
It does me too.
I don't know if you'd recognize them. Ferg's got a voice that's deeper than mine now, and he reminds me of that every now and then. Hi, Dad, how you doing?
Right.
Like he wants to be James Earl Jones or something, get a job at CNN.
There you go.
Margie's finished high school. She's looking at colleges. Doodle is. I think she had so much fun playing with Molly that when she had the opportunity to go over and help her sister with her babies, mm-hmm. she jumped on that. So she's over with her sister right now and having the time of her life. But all of them, when I tell them that I've heard from you, tell Mike and Kathy we said hi. We love them.
Well, Molly, we have pictures, of course, from that trip, and Molly will, when we show her the pictures, of course, it was like you say, it's 2 years ago, but she still remembers hanging out with your daughters, and which was the high point of the trip for her. It was just hanging out with your daughters that was the big deal. It wasn't going ashore or visiting this place or that place. It was just hanging out with Bob Kincaid's 2 daughters, but I hope everybody is okay. I've heard some rumors about y'all dealing with health problems, and of course, every family has that.
Well, it's scary, admittedly, but the fact of the matter is, some of it has to do with just where we are. Neither of my daughters now have gallbladders.
Oh my God.
Many of their classmates don't have gallbladders either. It's not unique to the to tribe Kincaid.
That's odd, but they share that in common now with Kathy. She doesn't have a gallbladder either. I don't think it's for the same reason. Kathy was a car wreck years ago, but it must be stressful living where you're living. It's not stressful. A lot of people ask me about, well, you live in Georgia. What the hell's wrong with you? It isn't that stressful here because it's not all redneck. It's not all crazy right-wingers. It's enough that the political atmosphere here is neo-fascist, but there's still an awful lot of people. And I've been here for 38 years, so you build a network of friends and people that you know. But
I still hold dear affection for Atlanta. The 2 years that I lived there were two of the best years of my life, and when you absolutely have to or want to, which is I think more important, Mike, you can go and you can go to the High Museum or you can go and indulge yourself in a little bit of culture.
Yeah.
Indulging myself in a little bit of culture here is going to one of the fancy restaurants like McDonald's.
Or O'Reilly's or O'Kelly's or whatever the hell they're called. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I know what you mean. I've spent an awful lot of time in the South, going all the way back to 66. I had a daughter born in Richmond, and traveled around the South. I mean, places like Dothan, Alabama, Cullman, Alabama, and Jacksonville, Florida, for Look magazine all those years ago. So it's a very strange place to be, but yet, after a while you start to put down roots. But I sure do, and I just want all your listeners to know that there's an awful lot of people out here and that respect what you do and the risks you take and why you do it. And I don't know if all of your listeners understand how much respect there is for what you're doing. I'm sure they do. I mean, that's the reason they listen to you. But beyond your audience, there's an awful lot of people who know what you're doing and understand the struggle. And it's admirable work. I'll say again, like I said before, I don't know how you manage to do it, except for the fact that you're dedicated, like a lot of folks are, to trying to stop this insanity. But anyway, I just wanted to call in. I've got about 20 minutes here before it's my turn, but I wanted to, no, not even that.
No, you're kind of up against it, Mike.
Oh my God, that's right. Hey, Kathy, change the clock. She never changed the clock from this morning. But anyway, happy anniversary, and my best to your family, and take care, okay?
Thank you, Mike. Thank you very kindly, and our best back to you and Kathy and Molly and the whole family.
All right, dude. Take care.
All right. Bye now.
All right. Bye-bye.
Wow. What a neat way to close the program. That's our buddy Mike Malloy. And I've told him this, so I'm not telling tales out of school. From listening to the program that my first job in high school was spinning records at a gospel radio station. That's where a couple of the DJs and I were told by the program director that we were Satan's emissaries to W. And radio's fun, and it beat the hell out of mopping floors. But I first heard Mike when I was living in Atlanta working for CNN. He was doing 9 to midnights just like he does now. And I would get off work on some of my shifts. I worked split shifts. 3 days a week, I would get off at 10 p.m. I'd be in my car by 10 after 10 and onto the downtown connector. For those of you who know Atlanta, you know what I'm talking about. And I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I landed on WSB, which was the blowtorch flamethrower of the Deep South. And there was this guy who was talking about everything that I seemed to be thinking about, and was able to do it in a way that didn't make you want to just run screaming. You were able to laugh a little bit. and understand that we were trying to deal in a rational way with an irrational world. This is the time during which the death squads were marching around Central America, funded and financed by the Reagan administration. And that was the beginning of my long association, primarily as a listener, a truth seeker, if you will, with Mike Malloy. And so along about the turn of the century, what a weird phrase that is to use, along about the turn of the century, I was pretty unhappy doing what I was doing, and it was making the rest of us pretty unhappy too. And I looked at Agnes and I said, I'm going to try to do radio again. Because over the years I had, on the night when you hold one arm up and stick your tongue out this way, just right, I could get Mike when he was at WLS in Chicago. And then came IE America, and I was always able to find Mike. But when I'd get in my car here in West Virginia, all I'd hear is just right-wing drivel. And I started thinking, I was once upon a time the youngest human being ever to deliver a worldwide radio newscast. Maybe I've still got it in me. Somebody's got to be out there doing this like Malloy's doing this. There's got to be more of us. And and from then to now is the result. That was the impetus. And then I got to fill in. Dr. Bill O'Brien, my dear friend of the Prism series, was doing a 2-hour liberal radio show on that little radio station over in Beckley. I got in touch with them, and it turned out that Dr. Bill was going to need a fill-in guy. So, and it was better than running reruns. So I got that gig. While doing that, Boss Man Wayne's beloved wife, Gina, to whom a dedication goes out every night, heard me filling in for Dr. Bill, called Wayne, and said, "We've got to get this guy his own show. We've got to start fighting back." And Wayne pulled that together. And then when we got bounced off of terrestrial radio in Beckley, Gina had by then passed away, a victim of medical negligence. And he said, "I'm not going to let this go." He said, "We're going to make this a living memorial to Gina." And from that day to this, every show has closed with a dedication to Gina Revich. And that is the Gina that gets mentioned every evening. And that's how this all came to be. So thanks, everybody, for helping us celebrate our 7th birthday. Onward into the 8th year. Thank you for all you do to keep all of this going. Thank you, Jay and Barb, for your kind thoughts. They say, "We appreciate your constant efforts to bring reason to the absurd world we inhabit today. Carry on, and carry on we shall indeed try." Thanks again to our all-volunteer staff, Lottie and Sparky in the chat room, our news ninjas, Gene and Susan, our blogger, Texas Betsy. Thanks again to John Fox, to Ben Birch. Thanks to the hardest-working, bravest people I know, the folks at Coal River Mountain Watch, CRMW.net, and ACHEACT.org, ACHEACT.org. Go there. Help end Appalachia's agony. And always, 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 Gina, Judy, it's all for you.